Hello everyone, my name is Chris and welcome back to another game review. Today I'm gonna be reviewing Crysis, and as usual I'm quickly gonna go through the story of this game to tell in short what the game is all about. Then I'm gonna share my own opinions and thoughts about this game, so in case you didn't play it, one big spoiler alert across the screen, and yeah, just click away from this video and come back after you play a game if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to, it's totally okay. But if you really are interested in my opinions and thoughts about this game right now, then stay with me till the end of this video and let's get started. Alright guys, Crysis. It's a first-person action science fiction shooter that was released in 2007, which was, believe it or not, 13 years ago. And this game was developed by Crytek. It was developed in CryEngine, and it was quite a big deal if you could run this game on all ultra settings back in 2007. You probably had a really strong computer back then if you could run this game on all ultra settings, 60 FPS, whatever, you know. And Crysis really was a big deal back then because it was the most beautiful looking game back then, and even today this game holds up pretty good. I'm gonna talk about that later, of course. But anyway, the story of Crysis puts you in boots of Nomad, one of few special soldiers that are dropped in North Korea on island to save some civilians that are being held captive by North Koreans. After you complete that mission, you realize that something weird is going on that island, and that North Koreans are using some alien technology, and soon after that you realize that there really are aliens that break loose, and now it's up to you, Nomad, to save the world from the alien invasion. And that's pretty much what the story of Crysis is all about in short. And you know, it's 2007, don't expect much from the story of this game. I mean, it's really old game. Back then, once again, everything was about gameplay, even though Crysis always was more about graphics to me. And yeah, I don't know, story, it's not really fun, but I guess it's okay for 13-year-old game. Moving on to gameplay, well, I can say that Crysis definitely was something new and innovative back in 2007. I remember when this game got released, I was only 7 years old, and I was pretty sad that I couldn't play this game because I had a terrible computer back then. That was actually my first computer. I remember I had that squarish monitor, and I even had the mouse with a ball inside, you know. It wasn't the laser mouse like they are today, and I had that really old hardware, and I couldn't play any new games. And it kind of makes me sad that I didn't get to enjoy this game when everyone else did. But I get to play it now in 2020, and it was still pretty enjoyable. Gameplay feels enjoyable, but it has huge downsides as well. It's really buggy. That's the first thing that was really annoying me through the entire gameplay. There is tons of bugs in this game. If game was better optimized, and if there were no these bugs, I guarantee that this game would be much better to me. But even with those bugs, gameplay was still really fun, and I can totally understand why people say that this game still holds up today, because back in 2007, having a game that had like mini open worlds on each level, and the game that had such a live environment where you could see birds walking around the beach, all different animals, environment that you could interact with. You could come and pick up literally anything from the ground. You could pick up animals from the ground and just throw them. You could pick up sticks, you could pick up boxes, so you could pick up in your stuff in your hands and throw it around. You were able to drive vehicles. You could drive vehicles in this game that you find around. boats. There are also missions when you're driving tanks and vehicles. That was also really fun. Then this game also has not really, I would say, stealth. It doesn't really have like stealth elements where you can literally just sneak up behind your enemy and press the execute button. But stealth worked differently back in 2007. You see, in Crysis, your guy you play with, Nomad, he wears a nano suit, a special suit developed by US Army, and when you wear that suit, you can be super strong, you can be super fast, you can be invincible, and you can enable maximum armor, which gives you maximum protection in combat. And each of these give you ups and downs. When you're super fast, you can move really fast, but then your energy from the suit drains really fast. When you're super strong, you can jump really high and punch people to death with your fists. You can grab them and just throw them really far. When you're wearing maximum armor, when you have maximum armor enabled, then you can absorb a lot of damage without taking your health, for example. And when you're cloaked, you're completely invisible to all the enemies in the game, and that's where stealth actually comes in. You know, like I said earlier, it's not a stealth where you come behind your enemy and click execute button. Instead of that, you would enable cloak and you would just move around and shoot people from distance, from up close, whatever you like. You could sneak up behind them and then you could grab them and just throw them away. So there is no like execute button. Stealth works like pretty weird in this game, but it works, and it's pretty interesting to see that old school stealth, you know, in such old school video game. I mean, I can call this game old school video game no matter how look it's still good, because come on, it's been released 13 years ago, so it definitely is old school video game from early 2000s. And bullets, yeah, bullets work really weird in this game. Enemies take a lot of shots to get killed, unless it's a headshot. Sometimes even if you shoot them in the head, they won't die. When you have suppressor attached, your gun is so inaccurate. It's really unrealistically inaccurate, and that was really pissing me off. There's a bunch of things like that in this game where just things don't make any sense. Combined with those bugs, gameplay can be really frustrating sometimes, and it can be really silly. You know, bugs get so ridiculous to the point where it's just silly. AI sometimes turns out pretty smart. Enemies can throw frags at you. They know how to flank you. They know how to take cover. They know how to dodge bullets, which is pretty advanced for 2007 in my opinion. Yet again, when enemies are driving vehicles, they will literally run over each other. Sometimes enemy tank will start driving towards you and it will run over its friendlies, or it will crash into a friendly vehicle and destroy it. So AI sometimes kills each other that way, just by running each other over, flipping vehicles, exploding, glitching in textures, and then exploding. All kind of weird shit can happen. Like I said, the game is really buggy. I don't know, I guess it was quite a big deal having that little open world back in 2007. You know, it's not really big. Each mission, like I said, is a small open world, but I guess back then it was a big deal to make it all working and optimized. You know, back then that was considered open world game, like those games are considered today. Just the world was way smaller because technology wasn't that advanced and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, I guess these bugs are justified by that. I would call it that way. But like I said, gameplay can be really frustrating and unenjoyable because of that, and that's one huge downside. Altogether, gameplay really feels weird, you know, when you play today's modern games, and if you played Crysis 2 and 3, and when you go back to Crysis 1, it's really weird. It feels weird, and I just don't know how to describe it. It really feels old, and you wish there was something more done about it, because the game itself has a great potential. It's really nice looking game, and you just wish gameplay wasn't that buggy. Altogether, it's not bad, don't get me wrong, it's not bad. It's fun, it's definitely fun, and it's pretty awesome, but buggy. That's what I'm just trying to say. And combined with all things that you could do back in 2007 in this game, I would say that this game had really innovative and fantastic gameplay, but only if they fix bugs it would be even better. I also forgot to mention that this game has expansion called Crysis Warhead, where you play as another character that appears in original game, and I actually remember playing this expansion on my computer that I've got in 2008, but I didn't play the expansion in 2008 because that's when it was released. I didn't even know about it. I heard about it when Crysis 2 came out, and then I got that expansion thinking that that is actually Crysis 2 game. Yeah, I was a dumb kid. I was playing Crysis Warhead and thinking that that is Crysis 2, and then I checked the gameplay for Crysis 2 on YouTube and I was like, what is going on? Why my game doesn't look like that? And then when I grew a bit older, I realized, oh shit, I was playing Crysis Warhead. Yeah, that really happened, and yeah, I was really a dummy, and it's just funny when I think of it. But yeah, I played that expansion, and it was also really fun expansion, fun experience. It's much shorter than the original game. It's like maybe 2 hours long, even though original game is not much longer than that. I finished the original game on normal difficulty in like 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. So it's pretty short game. Crysis is really short game. You can finish it in few hours, and I don't know, that's also a big downside to me. You know, it was really short experience. Good but short. Besides the single player campaign, Crysis also has a multiplayer, but I honestly didn't try it out. I didn't even bother because I think servers are long dead for this game. But basically what multiplayer was about is that one team plays with Americans, the other team plays with North Koreans. Both teams have nanosuits and superpowers just like in the single player campaign, and they're basically fighting for control points over the map. It's really similar to Conquest in Battlefield. You have vehicles that you can drive, and you have to capture these points, and team with most points for capturing these points on the map wins the game. And that's pretty much what the multiplayer is all about in this game. But like I said, I personally didn't try it out because I think servers are dead and I didn't even bother trying. But yeah, just to say, this game also has a multiplayer. Another good thing you can do in Crysis is gun customization. So you can press a button on your keyboard and it will open like a gun customization menu where you can put attachments on your weapon that suit your playstyle the best. So that's pretty cool. It's cool how you can collect these attachments through the game just by exploring the environment around, picking up other weapons that already had these attachments on them, and then you can apply these same attachments on all other weapons. However, the big downside is that there is really huge lack of weapons in this game. So this game has really short arsenal of weapons. There is few weapons you're gonna be using through the entire game constantly, then you're gonna uncover a few more as you come closer to the end of a game. You're gonna use them for a short amount of time, and the game is gonna end. The entire game is by itself pretty short, and it has a really small arsenal of weapons, and that's something I dislike. I think games like this should have a big weapon arsenal, because you get really bored of using the same gun through the entire game, and it just feels really repetitive shooting the same weapon all over and over again, and getting shot by the same weapons all over and over again. It just feels boring. That's another downside and big issue I had with this game. Alright guys, let's now talk about main thing about this game, what I think is the main thing about this game, and that is its graphics and visual design. So once again, back in 2007, this was a blast. If you could run this game on all ultra settings in 60 FPS, you were absolute god, you know, everybody would admire you. You pretty much had the strongest PC back then. And it was quite of a big deal, because the effects that appear in this game, especially in firefights, when you fight in the forests, for example, when bullets hit the rocks and trees, start to fall down. This game actually has destructible environment, and when bullets hit trees, they cut them and just trees fall down. You can see the smoke from the stones and from the barrel of your gun coming out and just staying in the air around you constantly while you're in the combat, and it really feels like you're in the war. This game has some great effects that I can't even see in today's modern first-person shooters. So this game has some crazy details that are unfortunately missing in a lot of today's modern games, that I wish actually could have effects like Crysis had back in 2007. This is really crazy how this game looks like. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I ran it on all ultra settings, 1080p resolution, in 30 to 40 FPS, guys. Yes, hardware from 2016 can't run this game on all ultra settings, 60 FPS, 1080p. No way. My PC was even frame dropping below 30 in some moments. This game is absolutely hardcore on your hardware. Even in 2020, you still need really strong PC to run this game on all ultra settings, 1080p, 60 frames. You absolutely need some really good hardware for this. And these are my PC specs. My CPU is AMD FX 8320 octa-core Black Edition 3.50 gigahertz. My GPU is RX 560 4 gigabytes DDR5. And my RAM memory is Kingston Fury Black Edition 16 gigabytes DDR4. This is a pretty solid hardware. I can run most of modern games on all ultra settings in 30, 40, sometimes 60 FPS. But I'm talking about modern games. I'm usually playing them all in like 40 to 50 FPS depending from game to game. And this is a game, guys, from 2007. This is 13 years old game, and that's crazy. That's just crazy to me, you know, that the game from 2007 needs stronger hardware than I actually have right now to run in 60 FPS on all ultra settings. This game holds still pretty well. It's definitely still a beautiful game. It looks better than actually some modern games, I would say, for sure. And that's what I think Crysis was always all about, you know, just showing its fancy graphics and power of its engine. That is also really great. I love Crytek engine, and I think it's a great engine. And you know, this engine really flexes its power. You know, it's beautiful what you can do with this engine. I absolutely love it. So yeah, that's it, guys. I think I said everything I wanted about this game. Let me know down below in the comments what are your opinions and thoughts about Crysis. I would like to read your opinions and thoughts and maybe have a discussion with you, talk about it a little bit. Why not? In the comments below. So just feel free to type your own opinions and thoughts. And I want to say thank you for watching. I appreciate all of your support and everything you've done for me and my channel so far. You're amazing. I love you. You can join my Chris Facebook group, link is down below in the description. I post all kind of stuff over there together with my ask.fm, where you can leave me any questions if you have any questions. And that's it, guys. I'll definitely see you in the next videos, and Chris out.